I should have left before she said it. That's the truth. If I had walked out after cake, if I had tucked Sophie into the guest bed and driven home like I always did, none of this would have happened. But I stayed, and when Lena reached across that birthday table and let her fingers rest over mine, something inside me cracked open. For 3 years, I had been careful, measured, responsible, the dependable brother-in-law, the uncle who fixed fences and replaced light fixtures and never lingered too long in doorways. I built my life on rules after David died. Rules kept people safe. Rules kept Sophie safe. I don't break rules, especially not ones that involve my dead brother's wife. The candles were burning low. Sophie was upstairs asleep in the guest room, exhausted from too much cake and glitter. The house was quiet in that heavy, Wyoming way, where you can hear the wind brush against the siding. Lena didn't pull her hand away. "Caleb," she said softly. Not like a sister, not like family, like something else. I felt it then, the shift. You ever stand on frozen ground and feel it start to thaw beneath you? That slow, dangerous give? "That was a beautiful dinner," I said, pretending I didn't notice her thumb brushing my skin. She smiled, but her eyes were trembling. "Stop pretending," she whispered. My chest tightened. Pretending was how I survived. Pretending I didn't notice the way she looked at me lately. Pretending my heart didn't react when she laughed. Pretending Sophie didn't light up more when Lena walked into a room. "I don't know what you think is happening," I said, but my voice wasn't steady. "Yes, you do." The wind hit the windows, and then she said the 4 words that changed everything. "I've fallen for you." The room felt too small, too warm, too full of ghosts. Because loving her wouldn't just risk my heart, it would risk my daughter. And I had already lost one brother. I couldn't survive losing everything else. I didn't answer her. That's the part I hate most. I just stood there staring at her like she had spoken in a language I didn't understand, even though I understood perfectly. "Caleb," she said again, softer this time, like she was bracing for impact. "Say something." My instinct was to run. Not physically, I'm not that dramatic. But emotionally, I've been running for 3 years. "I can't," I finally said. Her face shifted. Not anger, not yet, just hurt. "Can't what?" she asked. "Can't do this. Can't even talk about this." The words felt safe, logical, responsible, everything I've trained myself to be. "You think I haven't fought this?" she said quietly. "You think I woke up one day and decided this would be convenient?" That stung, because nothing about this was convenient. Small-town Wyoming doesn't forgive things like this. Church ladies don't whisper kindly. Mothers don't approve. And little girls don't get to lose more people. "Sophie comes first," I said, like I always do. Lena stepped closer, not touching me, just close enough that I could feel the heat of her. "She does for me too," she whispered. "That's why I'm telling you." I looked at her then, really looked, no makeup, just that green sweater she always wears when she's nervous, hair loose around her shoulders, eyes glassy but determined. She wasn't trying to steal something. She was trying to build something, and that scared me more. "What if it doesn't work?" I asked. "What if we try and it falls apart?" "Sophie already lost her dad. I won't let her lose you too." The word "you" slipped out before I could stop it. Her breath caught. "So you do feel it," she said. I didn't answer, because yes, I felt it. I felt it every Sunday dinner, every school pickup she helped with, every time Sophie called her from the kitchen to show her a drawing. I felt it when Lena looked tired and didn't say it out loud. But feeling something doesn't mean you're allowed to choose it. Upstairs, Sophie shifted in her sleep, and suddenly the weight of what this could destroy pressed down on me. "I can't betray him," I said, my voice breaking for the first time. Lena didn't flinch. "You're not betraying David," she said. "You're betraying fear." Her words followed me home that night. "You're not betraying David. You're betraying fear." I drove through the dark with both hands gripping the wheel like the road might split open beneath me. The town was quiet, one gas station light flickering, one pickup parked outside the diner. Everything looked the same, but nothing felt the same. When I stepped inside my house, it was too quiet. No Lena's laughter drifting from the kitchen, no Sophie arguing about bedtime, just silence. I stood there longer than I should have. Because for the first time in 3 years, I felt alone in a way I hadn't before. My phone buzzed. "Lena. I'm sorry if I made it harder tonight. I just couldn't keep pretending." I stared at the message. She wasn't pushing. She wasn't demanding. She was just being honest. and honesty felt dangerous. I typed 3 different replies before deleting them all. Finally, we can't cross that line. 3 dots appeared instantly. Why such a simple question? I sank down onto the couch, the same couch where David had once sat drinking beer and teasing me about never settling down. Why? Because if I let myself love her, I wouldn't survive losing her. Because if this fell apart, Sophie would pay the price. Because my mother would never forgive me. Because the town would tear her apart. Because I don't know how to want something for myself without feeling guilty. I didn't send any of that. Instead I wrote, "It's complicated." Her reply came slower this time. "Caleb, you hide behind that word." That hit deeper than I expected. Maybe I did. Complicated means I don't have to decide. Complicated means I don't have to risk. Upstairs at Lena's, Sophie was probably asleep, safe. And here I was choosing safety again. But the truth? Safety had started to feel like suffocation. Another message. Do you love me? Just answer that. No speeches. My chest tightened. 3 years of restraint, 3 years of discipline, and one question shattered all of it. I typed. Deleted. Typed again. Yes. I stared at the word for a full 10 seconds before pressing send. The moment it delivered, my heart started racing. Because love isn't the problem. What love demands next is. The 3 dots didn't appear right away, and that silence. It was worse than any argument. I stared at my phone like it might explode. Finally, I love you too. 4 simple words. They should have felt like relief. Instead, they felt like standing at the edge of a cliff with no railing. I exhaled slowly. This was real now. No more pretending. No more hiding behind complicated. My phone rang before I could overthink it. Lena. I answered on the second ring. Say it again, she whispered. My throat went dry. Lena, just say it again. I need to hear it. I closed my eyes. I love you. There, out loud. No screen between us. On the other end, I heard her shaky breath. Not crying. Not quite. I've loved you for a long time, she admitted. I just didn't know if you'd ever let yourself. That hit something deep. I don't know how to do this, I confessed. I've spent 3 years making sure Sophie doesn't lose anyone else. I can't gamble with her heart. You think I would? She asked, not offended, hurt. No, I think I would. If I mess this up. There was a pause. Then her voice softened in a way that undid me. Caleb, loving someone isn't gambling. It's building. I leaned back against the couch, staring at the ceiling. And what about David? I asked quietly. What if this feels like replacing him? You could never replace him, she said immediately. You're not stepping into his place. You're stepping into yours. Mine. No one had said that to me before. I had been the stand-in, the helper, the substitute, never the choice. You deserve to be chosen, she said, like she could hear my thoughts. My chest tightened again. Upstairs at her house, Sophie coughed softly in her sleep. I could hear it faintly through the phone. She deserves stability, I said. She deserves to see her dad happy. Lena replied. Dad. The word still felt sacred when it came from her. And what if I'm not good at this? I asked, what if I don't know how to be yours? She didn't hesitate. You already are. Silence fell between us again. Not heavy this time. Fragile, hopeful, terrifying. I'm scared, I admitted. Me too, she said. And for the first time, fear didn't feel like something pushing us apart. It felt like something we were standing inside. Together. I didn't sleep that night. Not really. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying her voice over and over. You deserve to be chosen. No one had ever said that to me before. I've always been the reliable one, the safe one, the backup plan. David was the bold one, the charming one, the man who walked into rooms like he belonged there. And I was the guy who cleaned up after the storm. But now the storm was mine. At 6:12 a.m. my phone buzzed. Morning, Lena texted. We're still okay, right? That did something to me. She wasn't assuming. She wasn't claiming victory. She was checking. I called instead of texting back. She answered on the first ring. Hey, she said, voice sleepy. Hey, there was a softness there. Something new, something careful. We didn't ruin everything, did we? She asked quietly. I swallowed. No, I said. But we changed everything. A small breath of relief on her end. Caleb, if you wake up and decide this was a mistake, I need you to tell me. The vulnerability in that almost broke me. I won't disappear on you, I said. Don't promise things you're not sure about. I'm sure about one thing, I replied. What's that? I don't want to lose you. Silence. then softer, almost afraid to hope. Then don't. It sounded so simple, but loving her meant facing the town, facing my mother, facing David's memory, and most of all, facing Sophie. We have to tell her, I said. Lena hesitated. Soon, she agreed, but not in a way that makes her feel like she has to choose sides. She won't, I said automatically. You don't know that. That uncertainty crept in. Sophie loves Lena, that's true, but loving someone as Aunt Lena is different than loving someone as the woman kissing your dad. What if she feels replaced? I asked. Lena's voice softened. I would never replace her mother, and I would never take you away from her. I believed her. That was the problem. Believing her made this real. Outside my window, the sun was coming up over Wyoming fields, quiet and wide and unforgiving. Small towns don't miss things. They notice when a man stays too long at his brother's widow's house. They notice when hands linger. And they talk. People are going to say things, I said. They already do, she replied. And that made my stomach tighten. What do you mean? A pause. Caleb, it's not just us who know. My grip tightened on the phone. What are they saying? I asked. Lena exhaled slowly. That we've been inappropriate for a while. That I moved on too fast. That you were just waiting for your chance. The words burned. I stopped myself. Anger wasn't going to fix this. I know, she said gently. But that doesn't stop people from talking. I could already picture it. The women at church lowering their voices when I walked in. The sideways glances at the hardware store. My mother hearing it all and letting it harden her. Has Sophie heard anything? I asked quickly. No, not directly. Not directly. That didn't calm me. I don't want her walking into school one day and being blindsided, I said. Kids repeat what they hear at dinner tables. I know, Lena whispered. There it was again, that quiet fear we both carried. I can handle people judging me, I continued. I can handle my mother. I can handle town gossip, but I won't let Sophie get hurt because of us. Because of us, she repeated softly. The words hung there. Not because of me, not because of you, because of us. And somehow that made it heavier and lighter at the same time. We could slow down, I said. Keep it quiet for a while. Make sure she's solid before anything changes. You want to hide? Lena asked, not accusing. Just clarifying. No, I said immediately. I just want to protect her. Caleb, she said carefully. There's a difference between protecting her and teaching her to be ashamed. That stopped me. I would never. I know you wouldn't intentionally. But if we act like this is something to conceal, she'll feel it. I leaned back in my chair, rubbing my jaw. This is why I loved her. She didn't fight me. She didn't guilt me. She challenged me. I don't want her thinking love is something you whisper about. Lena continued. I don't want her thinking happiness has to hide. The truth in that cut deep, because for 3 years that's exactly what I'd done. Hidden my wants, hidden my grief, hidden my heart. Okay, I said finally. No hiding. Okay, she echoed. A quiet agreement, but then she added something that made my pulse spike again. There's something else. My chest tightened. What? My mother called last night. And I already knew this wasn't going to be good. I closed my eyes. Of course she did. What did she say? I asked. Lena hesitated just long enough to make my stomach drop. She asked if it was true. About us. And I told her yes. My heart started pounding again. Just like that? I'm tired of pretending, Caleb. I ran a hand through my hair. How did she take it? A soft, humorless laugh came through the phone. She said she knew this would happen. Said grief makes people cling to what's familiar. Said I was confusing comfort with love. That stung more than it should have. And what did you say? I said she was wrong. There was steel in her voice now. She asked if I'd thought about how this would look. About church, about town, about Sophie. The mention of Sophie tightened my chest again. She doesn't get to use Sophie as leverage, I muttered. She wasn't being cruel, Lena said carefully. She was scared. Of what? Of losing me. Of losing the version of her daughter that still belonged to David. That hit harder than the gossip. Because I understood that fear. I'd been clinging to that version too. Caleb, Lena said quietly, if we do this, we're not just choosing each other. We're asking everyone else to let go of something. I swallowed. David's name wasn't said, but it filled the space anyway. I don't want to erase him, I said. You won't, she replied instantly. Loving you doesn't erase loving him. The simplicity of that scared me, because I wasn't sure my mother would see it that way, or the town, or Sophie. She asked me something, Lena continued softly. What? She asked if I Was sure you weren't just stepping into his place out of obligation? The question pierced straight through me. For 3 years, obligation had been my compass. Was this different? Was this love? Or was I still just trying to keep everyone afloat? I'm not him, I said slowly. And I don't want to be. I don't want you to be, she whispered. Silence settled between us again. Then she added, voice barely above a breath. She asked what Sophie would think if she knew. That was the real fear. Not the town, not the church, not even my mother, my daughter. What if she thinks we've been lying to her? Lena asked. My pulse pounded in my ears, because for the first time I realized maybe we had been. Lying? I repeated. The word tasted wrong. We haven't lied, I said quickly. We just haven't told her everything. That's still a version of lying, Lena replied softly. I hated that she might be right. For months Sophie had watched us. The longer hugs, the way I lingered in Lena's kitchen, the glances we thought were subtle. Kids notice everything. What if she already knows? Lena asked. That stopped me cold. Sophie is 7. 7-year-olds don't analyze romantic tension, but they do feel shifts. They feel distance. They feel secrets. She asked me something last week, Lena admitted. My chest tightened. What? She asked if I would ever marry again. The air left my lungs. And what did you say? I told her maybe. If I found someone kind. I waited. She asked if that someone was you. My heart slammed against my ribs. And? I told her I didn't know. The uncertainty in Lena's voice cut deeper than anything else. She looked disappointed. Lena whispered. Disappointed. Not confused. Not upset, disappointed. Because in her mind, maybe we were already something. She loves you, Lena added. You know that. I know. But loving someone is Lena is different than loving someone who kisses her dad. There it was, the truth I'd been circling. If she feels replaced, I started. She won't, Lena interrupted gently. But she might feel blindsided if we don't trust her with the truth. Trust her. I'd spent 3 years protecting Sophie from pain, from instability, from loss. But maybe I'd also been protecting her from honesty. You think we should tell her now? I asked. I think we should respect her, Lena said. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the ceiling again. Fear crept in, slow and heavy. Because telling Sophie meant this was real. It meant stepping out of the safe middle ground. What if she says she doesn't want this? I asked quietly. Lena didn't answer right away, and that silence told me everything. Because if Sophie said no, I already knew what I would choose. If she says no, Lena said slowly, what would you do? The question settled heavy between us. I didn't answer right away, because the truth was ugly. If Sophie asked me to choose, I already knew I would choose her. Every time, no hesitation. But the idea of losing Lena now, that felt unbearable in a way I hadn't prepared for. I'd pick my daughter, I said quietly. Lena inhaled, sharp but controlled. I know you would. No bitterness, no accusation, just understanding. And somehow that made it worse. But I don't think she'll ask you to choose, Lena continued. Sophie isn't that kind of child. She's still a child, I said. And this is a lot. I stood up, pacing the length of my kitchen. I promised David I'd take care of them, I muttered. You are, Lena replied. Am I? I shot back, more frustrated with myself than with her. Or am I complicating her world because I couldn't control my feelings? Silence, then softly. Caleb, loving someone isn't a complication. Hiding it is. That hit hard. Because hiding creates tension, and tension creates cracks. Sophie isn't blind. She notices when my voice changes around. Lena, she notices when Lena stays too long at the door. She notices when I leave Sunday dinners quiet and distracted. We think we're protecting her, but maybe we're confusing her. What if she thinks we've been sneaking? Lena asked gently. My chest tightened. Sophie values honesty more than anything. If she ever felt deceived, I don't want her to doubt me, I whispered. Then don't let her. The simplicity of that nearly broke me. Tell her, trust her, risk it. Because if I keep delaying this, if I keep pretending I can control every outcome, I'm teaching her that love is something you tiptoe around. And I don't want that for her. Okay, I said finally, my voice steadier than I felt. Okay, what? Lena asked. We tell her, no hiding, no half-truths. A pause. Then I heard it, hope. You're sure? No, I admitted. But I'm done being ruled by fear. And just as I said it, the front door opened, and Sophie's voice echoed through the house. Dad, Aunt Lena? Why are you both on the phone? My heart stopped, not slowed. stopped. Sophie's footsteps padded across the kitchen floor, light and unaware. I was still holding the phone to my ear. "Dad?" she repeated. "Why do you sound weird?" Lena was still on the line. "She's there?" Lena whispered. "Yeah," I breathed. Sophie rounded the corner and froze when she saw my face. "You're not in trouble, are you?" she asked quickly. "Because you look like when the principal called that one time." Despite everything, I almost smiled. "No, sweetheart. I'm not in trouble. Are you and Aunt Lena fighting?" That question hit like a spotlight. I looked at her. Really looked at her. She was watching me carefully, not like a confused child, like someone waiting for the truth. I pulled the phone from my ear. "Lena's still here," I said gently. "Do you want to say hi?" Her whole face lit up. "Yeah," I put it on speaker. "Hi, Soph," Lena said, her voice warm but slightly shaky. "Hi, why are you whispering?" Sophie asked immediately. Lena laughed softly. "Because grown-ups are dramatic." Sophie giggled. Then she looked at me again. "Are you both okay?" There it was. Not suspicion, concern. I crouched down so we were eye level. "Yeah," I said. "We're okay." "Then why do you look like you swallowed a bee?" I exhaled. This was the moment. No more rehearsing. No more fear. "Because," I said carefully, "Aunt Lena and I were talking about something important." Sophie's eyes moved between us. "What kind of important?" I swallowed. "The kind where we need to tell you the truth." Her brows furrowed. "Did someone die?" "No," I said quickly. "No one died." A pause. Then softly, "Are you going to stop seeing her?" And that question broke me, because her fear wasn't about betrayal. It was about loss. I felt my chest tighten. "No," I said firmly. "I'm not." Relief washed over her face. "Good," she whispered, then almost shy. "Because I was kind of hoping you'd marry her someday." The world went quiet. Lena inhaled sharply through the speaker. "You were?" I asked. Sophie shrugged like it was obvious. "You smile different when she's around." I looked up at the ceiling for a second, trying not to fall apart. "Sophie," I said gently, "Lena and I, we love each other." She blinked once, then twice. "That's it?" she asked. I laughed, stunned. "That's it." She thought for a second. Okay, just like that. No drama, no rejection, no choosing sides, just okay. Then she leaned closer and whispered like it was a secret. I already knew. And in that moment, standing in my kitchen with my daughter smiling and Lena's quiet tears coming through the speaker, I realized something. Love wasn't the thing that almost destroyed us. Fear was. And the moment I stopped letting fear decide, everything changed.